Let me tell you how I came back from crazy situation in my life, like going to prison, being in juvenile detention center, and thinking that nothing good would never happen to me, being on welfare, $22,000 in credit card debt and all that. And I came back multiple times to making millions of dollars online, building several seven-figure businesses, and having my dream car a few years ago, paying off all my debt, like helping people online, living the laptop lifestyle, filming 100 vlog, going into hotel, and that is because of this one book right here, Le Prince by Niccolò Machiavelli, or about Niccolò Machiavelli. Now, let me tell you how I came back because of this book multiple times from situation, like I said, that most people, they would have never came back. Okay, I've been in jail at 18 years old. And I've been in juvenile detention center when I was 13, 14. And now it's in my business. Now it's not super crazy stuff like that nowadays, but it's coming back from a failure in my business, coming back from like not having my business that I used to live off working anymore, and I have to look at the market, I have to look around, I have to change things, and this is not easy, right? And also stuff like being literally disregarded by all the society, like by my society, by my country, by my government, because I'm unvaccinated, being taught like you cannot go to restaurants, you cannot go to public places, you cannot do this, you cannot go to Walmart anymore, cannot go buy weed anymore, you cannot go buy alcohol anymore, because government is selling it over here, right? So they took my money for 2-3 years, but anyway, we're not gonna talk about that. Let's get back into Mr. Niccolò Machiavelli. So first of all, how did I learn about this guy? All right, because Niccolò Machiavelli, all right, it was a philosopher. Okay, he was doing a lot of stuff, but he was living in basically in the 1400, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a while. No, 1600. And it was in the Florence time, in the Medici time, where there was a lot of war inside of Italy and inside of Europe, what was not called Europe at the time, obviously. And the Medici are the one who invented the banking system. So this is important for everybody to know if you want to look into that, but I'm not going to talk about that side, about the financial side and all that. I'm going to talk about Mr. Niccolò Machiavelli. So this guy right here, he was basically doing a lot of stuff, okay? And he was connecting with all the big like kings and prince and this and that. And he was studying them. And at one point, like, he either made a mistake or something happened. Sometimes, you know, when you're doing war and all that, and when you're dealing with these people, like, it's not even a mistake, you know. Sometimes you can be just doing your minding your business, doing your stuff in China, right? And then you become too big, right? And then the president, like, take over your company, right? And make it part of the communist country, right? So Mr. Machiavelli, he basically had to retreat and leave what he was doing and basically go in a campaign and live with just his wife, and I think he had some kids as well. And he didn't like it, right? He was a man of action. So not being able to be around all these people, it was like torture for him, right? But he did it for 4 years, I think, from his age of 21 to 25 years old, all right? So he got back, and then he came back when he was 25, and then he became one of the, if not the most successful and known philosopher in the world. Like, any politician, any people in power, they know Niccolò Machiavelli and they know about that stuff. And basically I learned that in 2 places. I learned about that guy, right? First of all, if you want to learn more about all that stuff, there's one of the most important book in my life that I'm trying to find right here, but I can't find it. It's, I don't know if you can see it, guys, but it's the 48 Laws of Power. 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. This book will give you 48 laws of power, but every single law, it's giving like a piece of history attached to it. So, my mentor, or not, maybe not my mentor, but someone I, like a role model, someone I was looking up to when I was more young, it was Tupac, right? And Tupac, if you know a little bit about him, he named himself Machiavelli when he got out of prison, just before he died. And the reason he did that, that's because he read about Niccolo Machiavelli when he got in prison. And obviously when you are in prison, and I've been in prison when I was 18 years old, and I also been in juvenile detention center when I was 13 and 14 years old, and in prison at 18 and 19. I spent my 19th birthday in prison. Like, you feel like you're a lost cause, right? You're wasting your life. And for some people, like, to be honest, like, they're there because they are criminal for real and they're not doing good thing and whatever. And I'm not gonna get into what I did, nothing grave or whatever, but when you have a lot of ambition, passion, and motivation and all that, like, you're feeling like you're wasting your life. And that's exactly how Machiavelli was feeling. That's exactly how Tupac was feeling. And that's exactly how I was feeling. Like, we have something better to give to the world, right? To make of our life. So, I learned about Machiavelli because of Tupac, and read more about him in the 48 Laws of Power, somewhere over there. And this is basically how I learned about that. Now, when I was 20 years old, I got out of jail. I went to my mother. She was living with someone, like, in a dead ass place. Like, it was so out of everything. There was nothing, right? And I wasn't living in downtown Montreal before that, but I was living at least in a city, and now there was nothing. And to me, it was almost worse than prison, to be honest. And I needed to get out of there, and it took me a while. I went to live at my uncle basement, in my uncle basement, because he had a restaurant. He gave me a job at his restaurants, and I work at doing a bunch of little stuff for months, and then I was like a server, barman, whatever. And after that, it came winter, and we didn't have the restaurants anymore. The restaurant was not open in winter anymore. So I went back to what I knew, right? Where some of my friend was, and I got back into selling weed and all that stuff, and hanging with bad people, and I got back into trouble and all that. But eventually I wanted to get out of that, and I discovered Instagram, and this is where I started growing my online business. And it wasn't hard, it wasn't easy. I mean, like, I told my friend, like, hey man, like, I started changing my mindset, right? Because I discovered Instagram, and I started seeing like motivational posts, motivational stuff, right? And that motivated me to do more of my life, to be more successful. And then obviously in that time, there was a lot of binary options, Forex trading, there was like multi-level marketing companies. And I got into that a little bit, and I started sharing about my trading, and some people were asking me about my trading strategies, and I started selling like VIP access to my trade and strategy for like $50 per month. And eventually I had 10 people buying that, so I was making $500 per month from my Instagram stuff, right? And I was still poor, I was still living in the ghetto, but I was telling my friend like, hey man, like, do you see the potential? Like, we can get out of this. And freaking at one point I discovered Herbalife, right? And I love Herbalife because I wanted to be more healthy. I was starting to focus more on my health, on my energy, on eating better. And because of Herbalife, I discovered personal development, because one of the in the 90s, like Herbalife, they were a big multi-level marketing business. They still are, but they basically pay Jim Rohn a lot of money to be like their best spokesman, their number one spokesman, right? And Jim Rohn made a lot of speech about Herbalife in that time, and he was super well known in personal development at that time already. And so Herbalife, they're using a lot of that content, obviously. So every single time, or every single day I should say, that I would go into Telegram, the Telegram group of my team, right? They would share Jim Rohn content. And because he would talk about Herbalife in it a lot of time. And it got me into personal development. And even though I'm not into network marketing anymore, I'm not into Herbalife anymore, I'm grateful for Herbalife, even though I didn't make money. But when I started to see that vision, I told my friend, hey guys, like, $10,000 per month. Like, I remember I was on the basketball court with my friend, and we were talking about all that, and I already got them into Herbalife at that point, but they were not taking it seriously, right? They were not like buying product, not even for them. They were not like trying to do some presentation and this and that. And I wanted them to take it seriously. There was a few of my friends, and my best friend, my bad for the camera, guys. My best friend at that time, next time I'm not gonna hold the camera, I'm just gonna put it on something. My best friend at that time, I told him, we were on the basketball court, I will always remember that. I said, like, $10,000 per month is not a lot of money for me anymore. Or, it's not a lot of money. And he just looked at me like I was crazy, like, what the fuck did you just said? Like, because we always been like, selling weed and all that and doing illegal stuff just to make like $3,000 per month. Maybe if we were making like $4,000 per month, right? Canadian, that was a lot of money, right? So now it was like $10,000 per month ain't nothing, bro. Doing legal stuff, right? And bro, obviously it took me maybe 18 fucking months from that point, being dead poor in the ghetto, like just trying to hustle it on Instagram a little bit, and being on Herbalife and multi-level marketing, to making my first $10,000 month. Now, I didn't make $10,000 per month every single month after that, to be honest. I got back at $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 for a little while. But damn, like, this is what I'm talking about, coming back, right? From nothing, man. Years and years and years. Literally, I got out of prison at like 2021, and I restarted being successful a little bit online at 25. It took 4 or 5 years, like Machiavelli. And at 25, I'm born in 92, so 25, that was 2017. January 2017, today, we're January 28, 2022, okay? And we officially, let me take that off, we officially started our business January 27th, 2017, goldenoptiontrading.com. So it's been 5 years yesterday, and I'm kind of mad I didn't do like a big celebration, but I'll do it today. But it's been 5 years that we started our online business, and we made over $2 million, guys. We made over $1 million in profit. Me and my business partner, we've been mostly living of it, at least for 2017, 2018, 2019. Now, came 2020, and I'm skipping a few things here, but like in 2019 we had a drawback. I think in 2019 we had a drawback, right? And I had to came out of the dead, right? Again, I had to figure out what is going on with the business, why it's not working, try new stuff, right? Go out of my way, look at the industry, see what's going on. And we came back from the dead. We restarted being successful. 2020, I got my personal brand, The Boss Entrepreneur. Then I got shut down. Then I got shut down again. Then I just got shut down for a third time 1 month ago. My business account got shut down for a fourth time 1 month ago, right? Both a week before we were launching our new business. Did it affect us? Maybe. Probably we would have done a little bit more sales, maybe. But we're strong. I did 65K, if it's not 70, 75K. We're January 28th, right? And there's freaking 3-4 days left. And I still got a fucking 70K month. 80K month, maybe, with the days left. I'm still making over 1,000, 2,000 per day. That's what I'm talking about. We just signed a new deal, $10,000 client per month, and fucking well. So I came back from the debt. I came back. I'm always coming back, like freaking Niccolo Machiavelli. So go read about that guy. And this is how I came back multiple times, and I'm always coming back. Even when people are thinking that I'm down or I fell off or I'm dying, I'm always coming back. Take care. I'm gonna start doing daily video like that. I'm gonna try to do daily video, or almost. And hit the like, subscribe, turn your post notification on.